thought that um, I like her on the wing. I thought that obviously, she's more comfortable there defensively. Um, we know that I talked to you guys about small ball, and we know that we can get there with her. And she's not really small because she's 6'2", but her ability to defend the floor is important in that role. But um, I was very happy about where we ended the season with her on the wing because we were able to have her defend Jordan Canada, Kelsey Mitchell, Ryan Howard, all the um, very versatile wings in this league. And so that was a very good sample size. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think so because at the end of the day, we also know the sample size of what Sammy can do at the point guard position. We can say we want a point guard, and that's not going to necessarily happen. Obviously, we have to do our work in the offseason to get that. But I think Sammy has shown she can um, play a couple of different roles, whether it's starting, whether it's off the bench. And again, still having in mind to have Jordan in a couple of different positions, but knowing, guarding the guards are her strong suit. Well, Harry. Yeah, I think we're a few pieces away. I don't think that it's a complete overhaul. Again, this is a big off season not for only free agency, but how our players are going to prepare, how they come back with the knowledge of understanding how we want to play. So we have good pieces in place. Obviously, you guys know who we have coming back as it relates to contracts, and I think those are some pieces to help build with. Uh, but I don't completely think I don't feel the same as last season though. Yeah, it takes time. You think of all the teams that have built through the draft and what it takes. You have to have a couple of not very good seasons to do that. You can look at any team right as it relates to right now. Um, so it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. But what's interesting now is free agency is different. Um, how players move, who they want to play with. Come see. I can't talk that, but it's just different. So it's a couple of things that do have to happen. You have to place yourself in the draft to draft well. You guys know that it's tough to win with a roster full of rookies. You do need experience. You do need vets, but also the building process is what you do with those young players that you draft because of how contracts are situated. Getting a weight room, one, we're talking about Jordan. I think, her game is very athletic. No one is going to jump with her. She jumps out the gym, but also she's going to have to defend physical players as well. So I just think that strength is there. She has to, our players have to work on her specifically, just the three ball a little bit more, shooting more consistently. They got some reps that they wouldn't have got on other teams as rookies. And so that's I think they're kind of one up in that process to understand like the feel of it, the physicality of it. So taking that back with them to their overseas teams and in their workouts and coming back a little bit stronger as it relates to their physical, but just knowledge of how we want to play. Jordan, she's a unicorn. She would say she feels more comfortable playing on the wing. But we started the year with her at the four. She did a lot of really good things. She is a playmaker. She can take the ball off the rim and push. She obviously can rebound at a high level. So she's very versatile. I don't want to put her in a box. Two all-stars, hopefully a couple of all rookie teams, scoring title leader. And I think a team that could have folded and didn't. We were competitive in a lot of games, and only a handful of games games kind of got out of hand. But we worked our butts off in spite of being young and experienced in a lot of ways, and I'm proud of that. Obviously, you know, it's tough to have a team like this and expect to win every game, but we were in every game, and or in most games, and made it respectable. And what was the last part of your question? Done differently. Obviously want to win more, but honestly, not. I liked our approach this year. We coached them hard, enjoyed it, and it's always going to be a learning process. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Honestly, she came into camp in amazing shape, not just physically but mentally, in an amazing space, and understanding what type of year this would potentially be. For her to consistently show up and score like that, double teams, boxing ones, junk defenses, like all the physicality, top blocks, all the things that you can think of, she saw, and she was still able to score at a very high level. That says a lot about her. And I know it's not about her and her individual accolades, but to have a year that we had with this, with the team that we had, and still be able to all-star in WNBA all-star game. Um, I'm proud of her, and she committed to the process. She stayed focused in the process, and look what she did. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very nice, because now players know that she's here, and she's going to be a key piece to what we do in free agency. I know a lot of players. She's a connector, and I feel like a lot of players will want to play here. But also, she is a leader now. She's experienced 2 championships. This is her team, and now we can go into free agency with a not our hair let down a little bit, but just knowing she's committed is huge for us. Yeah. That I'm resilient. The competitive spirit is strong, but the desire to build, in the process of that, it takes time. I am a naturally patient person, but this process is had to be super patient, with the team, going from having the arguably one of the best point guards in the world to having rookies and trying to navigate our point guard position. That was tough. And so every day it required a new level for me of teaching the basics of the basics, but it also pushed me and challenged me to continue to stay steadfast in that and know eventually the tide will turn. Eventually, what we're pouring into them will continue to show on the floor. Yeah, I'll start by saying that I am super proud of Ezzy this year. Again, an all-star, put into a position where she's never played on this team, having to score, having to defend, and some semblance of leading as well. That's not what she does naturally. So this was a huge step in the right direction for her to have a season like this. Now I'm going to demand way more from her because she has showed the ability to now be mentioned amongst the top players in this league. She has to be more vocal. She has to, I think, I don't want to miss steps with her. Obviously, the 3-point shooting was really good this year, but she has to get back to the scoring around the rim and finding some comfort in being a post presence there, and that versatility that she creates as it relates to now scoring on multiple levels is important for us. And the defense has to continue to hold steady, but we saw what she can do. I want more though. Yeah, huge. Yeah, it's immense. Shout out to our ownership for understanding that this is necessary for our players, but also, helping in this process of making sure this organization gets back to having success. A training facility of that stature helps players get whatever they need in one building, and that matters in this league because not every team has that. To have an opportunity for that building to be ours and solely ours. I'm excited for it. I'm not even playing it anymore, but it's important for us for players to know that the organization cares about the player experience and player um, health care and all the things that matter when we're trying to just help players flourish in our organization. Yeah, I hope so, and I think a lot of people got a bump at, initiating offense or understanding what we're trying to look for. And it may not have been their strength, but to go through a film session or, go through an on-court session where we're constantly teaching about a position that like it matters. I think we grew in that way. Now we have to be better. Our turnovers were way too high, and that is a cause of, just the comfortability of or non-comfort of being in that position. But our 5-out offense is helpful for spacing as well, and just to play with some freedom as well. And that kind of took the load off of the thinking.
Hi, Nelly. I think I'm supposed to go next here. Hey, how you doing?
Good. I can't see you, Em, so
Oh,
sorry.
oh, sorry. Um, just to start off, you talked about sort of the personal lessons you learned this year. I'm wondering how the challenge of this season compared to what you expected going in.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm always going to be optimistic, but there's a point of being realistic that came into play, and knowing that realistically, it's going to take some time to get back to where we need to, especially with a young roster, and a couple of players coming back from injury and all of those things that you guys know that our roster was made up of. But I think that, that's the biggest thing is just understanding that, you can't win every year. There is a process to it. And sometimes you have to be bad to be great again. So just going to continue to learn and take that in stride.
With how young the roster was in general, obviously you have been in recent years, you know, as far as player development, you've been focusing on veteran development, honing out, already polished skill sets. What was it like? What did you learn as a staff um, about how to approach rookies and about how to best, develop players and unlock their ceilings when they're, in their young, early 20s?
Yeah, I think just putting them on a schedule was huge. And, not necessarily that they didn't have freedom, but to know that you're coming in every day, you're doing your PD work every day, your weight room work every day, your pre-practice. We had stay ready games, all of those things need to be consistent. And that's what we learned, a couple of times, you think we don't have to do a certain drill today because they've got it. And I told my staff, no, we have to do this drill every single day because that's just the type of team that we have. So just kind of, learn as I go with the type of rookies that we had, and also even the players who hadn't been in this organization. There was a process to that as well, and learning and understanding that the reps matter and how you approach those reps matter. So even the stay ready games for players like Kia mattered as it related to her success at the end of the year. We kept at the preparation process of it, the player development process of it, and I think we remained steadfast to that, and it showed in the productivity level of some of our younger players.
Thanks. And just my last one. What are your plans for the off season?
My plans?
Yeah, what are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm supposed to take some time off, and I probably won't do that. My mom's birthday is coming up, so looking forward to celebrating that with her. Gonna hit a couple of NBA training camps. I have Canada basketball commitments. Um, just a lot of basketball, honestly. But I'm gonna try to take heed to the time that I need off, but it probably won't happen. Back to the grind though.
Of course, sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, I think that's my cue. Hey, Coach Quinn, good to see you on the screen here. Erica representing CBS Sports today. I want to preface this question quickly in that you mentioned the NBA, and the Milwaukee team was asked a very direct question about their season after the playoffs. And I do think it's an interesting question, but I also think that how we phrase things is important. So I want to ask you, what are the lessons that you take away from a season that, as you've already talked about, was difficult in a lot of ways?
Yeah, patience, patience and perseverance, and sometimes you can't equate progress to wins and losses, especially in a season like this. So we are going to, again, remain steadfast in the work and what we do. It's not going to happen overnight when you have a young team, a team who are, looking to build and have a specific process to how to get back to where we need to be. But I think the biggest thing is just patience, and understanding who we are, what we do, and stay committed to the work and to each other.
And you mentioned also your commitments to Canada, the Canadian women's team. And we've seen the WNBA was able to play preseason there. And then the UConn will actually go up to Mattamy in Toronto again. As you see more touch points between the WNBA, even the NCAA and Canada, what do you think that could mean potentially for the players coming up in women's Canadian basketball?
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. The top Canadian players want to play in the States. They want to play college basketball, and they have dreams to play in the W. So, just being connected to those athletes, it's amazing to see the support that Canada has, but also the pride and commitment they have to, want to be the best of the best. And, the WNBA is big for them. It's not. It's a huge goal for a lot of those players in Canada, and honestly, there's a lot of talent there. So, I was super impressed with the turnout in the preseason game. We have a lot of young talent coming out of Canada that you guys will continue to see, and that will impact college and this league, and we'll continue to bridge that gap because I think that's important.
Thank you so much. I hope your mother enjoys her birthday.
Thank you.
And we're done with Coach. Thank you so much.
Thank you.